on YouTube. Perfect. And the phone. Okay, welcome along on YouTube. Croft, great to have you with us. Delighted to hear you with us. Just excuse me for a moment. I'm just going to set us up on our Facebook page now as well. And then I'll just give you a full rundown of everything we're doing today. So. Now, I'm just going to test out my angles here, so don't mind me if I'm moving around a little bit, just with chair and things, just to make sure we have a nice clear stream there. I think that should be okay. Let's move that just a touch more. Okay, so very welcome along to the session. My name is Shane. I know you'll be familiar with me from some of these classes, so you're very welcome along. I'm going to be guiding us through our chair gym. So as we always say, just have a good firm chair you can work with. I'll always have my bottle of water at the ready, and I recommend just having maybe a window open, just a little bit of ventilation, a little bit of fresh air coming in at you. We're going to do a couple of movements in like a little mini or small circuit format, just repeating a couple of movements and getting a feel for everything. So we'll just check in with comments, everything all right there. Great stuff. Thanks, moderator there. Perfect. Henry, Anya, great to have you with us. Croft on YouTube there as well. Great to have you with us. So what I'll do is we'll just get straight in with a couple of movements, warming ourselves up. I should point out, we actually have a photographer just taking a couple of shots during the session, just a promotional thing. So if you hear a little bit of noise in the background, don't worry about that. You might hear a couple of times. Just one last check. Sylvia, Philomena, Anya, brilliant. So let's get into it. Let's get moving. So warming up. First of all, nice and tall in my chair. Just going to start very simply, shrugging the shoulders up and down. I just want to get a little bit of movement. Bringing those shoulders up and down. Okay, so just bringing the shoulders up and down, a little bit of movement. And that's where typically I will always start with my warm-ups, just to get those shoulders moving. Now, from there, I'm just going to start tapping across to each shoulder. So just bringing right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder. We'll get a little bit more directly active with our coordination later in the session. We're just getting a feel for that motion, tapping across to the opposite shoulder each time. Next, bringing my hands together, I want to slowly turn my body to the right and then over to the left. We always like a little bit of rotation within our session, so just think getting a little bit of a stretch in my back and just opening up that upper body. So if we feel a little bit tight and stiff, we just want to simply get that body moving at the start of our session. And again, slowly over to the right, slowly over to the left. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is bring my hands up just to about chest height. I want to press one arm out in front, and then I want to press the other arm out. So a little bit of, again, coordination. Press one arm in front, pull the opposite arm back. So you have to think a little bit for this one. One arm forward, one arm back, and just swap between the two positions. I'm just going to continue that one. Just a little press out from the chest, swapping side to side. Okay. Next, keeping my two arms out. Nice and straight. I want to turn the hands up to the ceiling, turn the palms down to the floor, and swap between those positions. think about a little bit of movement in your wrists here. And turning hands up, turning back down, and just continuing on like that. And I'm going to mix this one up a little bit now. Keeping the arms out. One hand is up, one hand is face down. And swap. So a little bit of challenge now. One hand up to the ceiling, one hand is down to the floor. So I'm swapping between the two positions. I have to think, a little bit of coordination, a little bit of challenge for the brain on this one. Swapping between the two positions. And back down. Next, as you can hear, I've placed hands down on my legs. Just want to slowly stretch down and back up. I'd always say with this movement, just reach down as far as comfortable. There's no pressure to physically touch the feet. Just want you to just gently start moving down as far as comfortable and then straight back up. We'll go for another couple here. I'm not really setting any kind of limit or time with the reps. Just a couple to explore each movement. Do as many as you are comfortable with along with me here. Next, just straightening that position again. I will do that a couple of times. Arms by my side. I want to lightly tilt to the right, back up, and then tilt to the left. So just getting a little bend to the right and then to the left. Imagine a sheet of glass in front of your body and directly behind your body. And I just want you to tilt side to side between those two positions, right and left. Always just pausing briefly in the middle to reset the position. And we'll go once more and down. Okay, so just finishing our warm up with our lower limbs in particular now. Just going to begin lightly extending the legs out, or just lightly kick the legs out in front. Just to get the lower body switched on, moving. Remember, the full purpose of this warm up is gently bringing that heart rate up, loosening out all our joints, and just preparing for some more challenging movements ahead, where we'll work with a little bit more intent and challenge. From here, I want to take it into a nice controlled march, lifting the knees up, and I keep the feet nice and soft. I just like to avoid stamping down with the feet. I want to keep this movement nice and light. So just continuing to march like that. Next, what I will do is just open right leg out, open left leg out, just a small lift out to the side. Think opening up from those hips, lightly stepping out to the sides. Just going right and left. Okay, and we'll just repeat those three lower limb movements one more time. So let's bring it back. Leg extension, just kick the legs out, keeping it simple. Legs out, one at a time. Keeping ourselves moving, active, warming up, preparing for all these main movements ahead. I'll bring it back to my march again, nice and light. Bring the knees up, keeping my upper body nice and tall still. And again, I'm very soft as I bring those feet down. I'm not too hard as I land with those feet. Just keep it nice and light. And then once more, again, let's just step out to the sides, nice and light. Right and left. Just swap between the two, out to the sides. I'm just going to finish up with a little bit of movement in our ankles. Okay, what I want to do, I'm just going to move the laptop down a touch just so that you can get a better shot of that. And welcome along, Marie in Ballybrack. I want to point my feet down to the floor. Just want to point the toes right and left, side to side. A lot of the time I will do ankle rotations where we go in a full circle. But I appreciate maybe there's reasons why sometimes we have difficulty with that motion. So I'm just trying to give you different options, different ideas. And I think I did something similar or different variation in last week's chair gym. So if you find a rotation, a full circle in the ankle difficult, try out this action, just simply pointing your toes side to side. And then pause. Walk the feet back a little bit. And now point your heels side to side. So now my heels lead the movement. And again, side to side. So if you're finding an ankle rotation, a full circle difficult, This could be a nice little variation. You're working with whatever range of movement you comfortably can. And that's the key. Remember, as we push into the main block of work now, any movements that cause pain, don't persist with them. Give yourself a little rest, not pushing through any kind of pain. Okay, and rest. So that's our warm-up completed. Might take a quick sip of water if you like here. And we will push into our main block of work now. So a couple of movements. I will repeat all these movements a second time, but we'll begin. Sit nice and tall in your chair. And I want to think about not bending down. I want to think about keeping a strong upright position. I lean forward and reach, pull back. And then I'm doing the same on the left. I'm going to lead from the front position. And then maybe on the second time, I'll lead from the side. But I just want to show you that. Reaching in front as far as you can. And I like to physically make that grabbing motion. Think if you were reaching out in front for an object. Grabbing and pulling back. You can lightly rest one hand on the leg as you perform this motion. But the key is you're tilting your body forward. I'm not bending down here. I have a nice straight position. My core is strong. My upper body is straight as I reach forward with each side. Okay. And we'll go once more and back down. Now, moving from that forward position, we will return to that in a second. What I want to do next is bring my hands together, arms out straight, and I want to rotate to the right as far as I comfortably can, and then rotate to the left as far as I comfortably can. I like to keep my head in line with the movement, and I like to keep this as a nice controlled action, just so we don't swing from side to side. What I like about this, we're getting rotation, which is always good, and we might feel a nice stretch in the back. You can work through a range that feels good to you, just that you're never rushing this movement. Take it nice and slow, side to side. So again, over to the right, and then over to the left. And we might do that just one more time. Over to the right, and over to the left. And back down. Perfect. Now, if you remember that forward reach, I'm going to just build that one up a little bit. Another variation. You're nice and tall again. What I want to do is reach across this time. So reaching across the body. Again, my core is strong. My upper body is straight. I'm not bending my position here at all. So keep it nice and strong as you reach across. Again, just think grabbing an object. So I like to do that grabbing gesture with my hands, as if I'm physically grabbing an object as I stretch across. You can place one hand on your leg as you perform this action. Okay, just reaching across, gently leaning forward. And I'll go one more time. And reset. Okay, so that's your first little block of work. As I often like to do, we're going to repeat those movements a second time. So you're just exploring the movements, change anything. For example, if something feels painful, change the movement. Don't persist with anything that's uncomfortable. I'm going to turn my chair this time, just showing you that from a different angle and perspective. So again, I'm nice and tall. I'm going to reach forward. Reach forward. I'm just reaching directly in front, not across my body just yet. I want to think of a nice straight back. So you'll see I'm not allowing myself to bend. Rather, I tilt forward. So my core is strong. My upper body stays straight. Lean forward and just reach as if grabbing for an object out in front of you there, whatever that might be. Okay, just reaching in front. And we'll go once more each side. And back in. Perfect. I'm going to turn back center and back into my rotation. Okay, nice and tall, hands together, arms out straight. Let's begin. Rotate to the right. Rotate over to the left. With our arms out in front, you might find this challenging enough, what I would say is not to force it too wide. Just go as far as comfortable and take it nice and slow as you transition between the two positions. Gently over to the left and then gently over to the right. Just take it nice and controlled. A nice stretch in the back and a nice little bit of rotation here as we go side to side. Over to the left, over to the right. And I'll go one more time. Over to the left, over to the right. Okay, I'm going to switch again to that side angle. What I want to do now is reach across the body, but I just want to again show you these movements from different perspectives. Nice and tall, reach out in front and across. And then my left arm. Again, I think about keeping my upper body straight as opposed to bending. So I never want to bend my back in this position. I want to think about gently tilting forward, reaching out in front, just staying in a range that you're comfortable, where you feel strong and in control of the movement. So let's do maybe 2 more on each side. Lean forward and grab, and then once more. And on the left, and back in. Okay, brilliant. That is your first block finished. We're going to move into a second block of work, some new movements. Similar format, we'll just try them all out and then we'll perform them the second time. So you can make these little changes, just get a feel, explore the movements. So what I want to do is work on my right leg. Again, I'm comfortable, hold the sides of the chair if you like. Extend your right leg out and then return back down. Right leg out, return back down. And I want to think 2-3 seconds pause. So let's do nice controlled. We won't do too many of them, but let's do them nice and controlled. 1, 2, even a 3rd second there, back down. So out and pause, back down. So the main thing is here, I'm not swinging the leg up and down, just that there is that purposeful little pause, and then I'll slowly lower the leg back down. So just take your time to perform that one. You might notice a couple of times I'll speed up, but I'm going to try and keep myself under check, getting maybe 2-3 seconds pause. Let's do once more on the right, and then we'll swap over to left. Okay, straight in. Let's go with the left leg. That same action. Out, 1, 2, 3, back down. Not too fussy, as I said, on the 2, 3, but just that you're getting a pause, even if it's just for a second, just that action that you're trying to have a little bit of control in the movements. Very purposely, that I don't swing the leg up and down. If there's a bit of control, I can pause and slowly lower that leg back down. So let's keep it nice and slow and controlled like that. Curl up or extend up, back down. Extend up, feeling the thigh of my leg and back down. And let's just continue on. 2 more on this left leg. And then I'll do 1 more on this left leg. And back down. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is a little kind of a boxing or rotational movement, building up where we did our rotation. So hopefully we feel a little bit more loose and comfortable in this position. Nice and tall. My hands are clenched. What I want to do is lightly punch across to the left and then over to the right. So I'm just going side to side. I like to stay nice and light with this movement. Just starting slow, just get a feel for the movement. And then I can go with a little bit more intensity. I just want to lightly press across side to side. You can think this as like a boxing movement, or you can just lightly press across and think of just stretching the arm across the body. Again, I'm just going at a nice, comfortable pace, nothing too fast. I'm keeping that movement flowing, a nice controlled rotation as we go side to side. So right arm across, left arm across, just nice and light, building up on that first round of movements we did. Okay, let's do 1 or 2 more in each direction. And back down. Perfect. So you'll notice that parts of the session where maybe we speed it up a little bit more intensity, and then parts that are a little bit slower. Let's repeat a second round, going back to my leg work or leg extensions. So right leg, again, I want to extend out Pause in position, lower down. Again, I don't want to be too strict and count it every time, but think roughly 2 or 3 seconds. If you can get a little pause and then slowly lower the leg back down. The purpose of this one, a great way to work the leg, particularly around the thigh, keeping a nice, strong leg, really important. And we'll just continue with that right side. Again, if you want to hold on to your chair for a little bit of support, that's fine. And just keeping this under check, nice and slow. Pause, slowly lower down, just avoiding swinging the leg. Doing really well. Let's get 2 more. And then 1 more. And back down. Brilliant. So let's move on. Straight in. Left leg. We go pretty much straight in. Left leg up. Slowly lower down. Left leg up. A little pause. Slowly lower down. So we're just keeping this movement a little bit slower than some of the other actions we do. Just keeping a nice control to the movement. Really trying to feel the thigh of your leg here. Extend out. Slowly down. And just continuing on like that. Really nice movement from our knee. And a really great way to work that thigh in our leg. So just extending up. Back down. Let's get 3 more on this left side. Again, not allowing myself to speed up too much. 2. And let's get 1 more. Back down. Okay. Now, kind of bringing a little bit of tempo and intensity back in. Just going to reset my position. I'm going to clench the hands. And I want to lightly press or punch across the body. Okay, just be careful, like that poster beside me here. I don't want to obviously hit into anything. I know I have in many previous sessions with certain movements, but I'm going to try my best not to. Keep the movement nice and light. Try not to be too blocky and rigid. I just want to let my body flow nicely here. Pressing across. And I can kind of go with a nice moderate intensity. Not too fast, but not too slow either. I can go with a little intensity. And just being careful of anything or object that's near you here. Lightly across. Let's do another couple on each side. Just pressing across the body. And we'll go 2 more. And then once more. And back in. Perfect. Right. So that's your second block of work. We're going to move a little bit of coordination on this next movement. And that's something I've put into maybe our last 1 or 2 chair gym sessions. I think we've tried this movement before. But a really nice one. Challenges us a little bit. I would say not to be too strict if you don't feel you have this movement perfect. Part of the fun or challenge is trying to get the coordination of the movement. So I'll start nice and slow. I might sit slightly forward in the chair. I will tap my left heel out and I will tap the left shoulder. And then I will try on the opposite side. So I tap my right shoulder and tap the right heel out. So just think that one side. Tap the shoulder and place the heel out on the same side. Start slow. See if you can get a feel for the movement. And then we can just gently start to build up. Probably never going too fast here, but we can build up a little bit more compared to when we start nice and slow with this. Keep it slow. Find this difficult. But again, just tap the shoulder, place the heel out. And we just continue on like that. Find it difficult, maybe you just want to focus on tapping the heels out or just working with the shoulders, tapping across. Let's go for another couple here. And then return back in. So a little bit of coordination, a little bit of thinking involved in that one. What I'm going to do next is more directly just work on the one shoulder. This is breaking a movement down. So with that mix of more fluid movements and slower movements that we break down like this next one. Again, I'm going to sit nice and tall in my chair. My right arm is out and my thumb is placed up. I like to place hand on chest just to make sure my body doesn't move too much. I want to rotate down and rotate up. And I'm just using my thumb up as a rough guide just to check in terms of movement. thumb down, thumb up. Key to this movement is that I go slow as I perform it. I do not want to twist my arm really quickly. That might feel a little bit sore and uncomfortable. It's really important that I just keep this nice and slow and relaxed. So again, you'll see that thumb goes down, thumb goes up. And the purpose is to get a nice controlled rotation from your shoulder. Work with your shoulder on this one, even if it's only a very small range of movement. I'm not looking for huge movement. It can just be very small. And keep it slow and relaxed here. And down. Let's work through the opposite side. So I am going to adjust a little bit. Again, my left arm is out here. You'll see my thumb is placed up, and I just place hand on chest just to make sure the body doesn't move. I want to make the shoulder the worker here. Thumb down, thumb up. I think it's not like the Roman gladiators used to do in the amphitheater. So thumbs down, thumbs up. We'll keep it slow and purposeful. Okay, so we don't want to twist really fast here. I want to slowly explore the two ranges of bringing thumb up, thumb down, getting a nice controlled movement through my shoulder here, keeping it nice and controlled all the time. Thumb down, thumb up. Let's do two more. And we'll go once more. And back down. Brilliant. Okay, so we have movements like that. We're going to repeat that little circuit again, second round. So I'd just like to give you a chance to explore. So if something doesn't feel good, you can change it, maybe perform the movement a bit slower. So let's repeat those actions. Back to our coordination. A little bit of fun with this one. Again, I'm going to place my left heel out. So heel out, tap the left shoulder. And then the same on my right. So heel out, same size. Again, sorry if the YouTube froze a little bit there. We'll just glitch a couple of times with the connection, but I think we're back on track. So again, heel out, tap the shoulder. Again, maybe start slow, get the mechanics of the movement, and then we can go a slightly faster tempo if we like. Heel out, tap the opposite shoulder. I have to focus, might seem like I'm pulling kind of funny faces, just having to focus, concentrate on what I'm doing. Otherwise, I might lose track. But tap the heel and tap the shoulder on the same side. And just keep it moving, keep it nice and fluid. And back down. Brilliant. Okay, glad that one's finished. Tough enough. So, again, breaking down the shoulder. Really worth trying this a second time. Just get a feel for it. Again, I'm nice and tall, hand on my chest, right arm out with my thumb faced up. I rotate down and I rotate back up. So again, the thumb, if I look to my side, just gives me a little bit of feedback in terms of movement. It's not that important that you have your thumb placed up. As I say, it just more gives me feedback as I look across in terms of movement. But that movement should be slow, slowly performed, that you don't twist really fast. Keep it slow and just gently explore the two ranges of movement. Going down and then back up. Going down and then back up. Swap sides. Just going to gently trigger across here. So again, let's bring it with my left arm out. Thumb is up, hand on chest, thumb down, thumb up. Again, think of that gladiator, as I was saying, where a Roman emperor might in the amphitheater. Just thumb up, thumb down. Gently rotate between the positions. Movement from your shoulder. But again, I do not want to sharply twist between the positions. Just want to keep it slow and controlled. Movement through your shoulder. Thumb down, thumb up. And just gently to rotate. And just continuing on. Let's do one more. And back down. Perfect. Really good. Okay. So that's another block of work done. And what I'm going to do next, again, I might like a quick sip of water. That's fine if you need. A little bit of coordination next. So we might explore one or two more movements. I'll just see how we're getting on after the coordination. But again, just after we have to focus for some of them movements, put a lot of thought in. Just want to have a little bit of fun with these movements. There's no pressure to get them absolutely perfectly right. Just explore them, see how you get on. Really good for the brain, just cause us to think a little bit. So what I want to do first of all is lift my 2 feet up and just lightly begin crisscrossing the legs. So one above the other, or just think of the legs side to side. Once you have that movement, I want you to bring the arms out and bring the arms up and down. So just a little bit of fun, just to think a little bit for this one. Crisscross the legs, bring the arms up and down. So it's 2 different actions for our body to think about. My arms are going up, down. My legs crisscross side to side. And what this can do is your brain, it wants your legs and arms to do the same thing. So you might get a little bit tangled here. And that is part of the challenge. Legs crisscross, arms up, down. So legs crisscross, arms suas agus síos. Doing really well. And rest down, okay? Take a couple of seconds. I'm going to flip those 2 movements around so that I'm now going to bring the legs up and down, crisscross the arms. You might find this one a little bit more difficult. Okay, so legs are out. I'm going to kick the legs up and down, or you might find this one easier. So legs up and down. Just start with that action, arms out, and crisscross the arms. So some of you might find this one easier, some of you might find it harder. Really just depends. Crisscross the arms and kick the legs up and down. And we'll just continue on with that action, nice and controlled. Having to think a little bit, kicking the legs up, down, crisscrossing the arms, just processing those 2 different movements. Legs up, down, arms side to side. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest down. Excellent. Okay, just a little bit of a fun challenge in there. Nice when we're doing very kind of purposeful movements through the session. Just something to break it up a little bit of fun. As I say, don't be too hard on getting those movements absolutely perfect. Just a nice challenge. So we might just put 1 or 2 final movements in, and then we'll move into our stretches and cooling down. So what I'll do is just build up. We worked on our leg. Just going to add a little bit of arm in there as well with our shoulder. So how I want to do this. Right arm, right leg. My arm is straight. I want to extend my leg and raise the arm at the same time. So right arm and right leg, just to extend out. So I'm getting my shoulder active and I'm working the leg at the same time. Again, I'm going to think about maybe 2-3 second pause, back down. My arm will not go above about shoulder position. And it's really just, again, a little bit of coordination here that you're just working the one side of your body, which is the right arm and leg, raising up. Just seeing how we find that action, just working through the one side of our body. Let's do maybe 3 more. And 2. And then once more. And back down. Swapping over to the left side of my body. Left arm and leg. So again, my left shoulder is active as I raise the arm. And my left leg is active as I extend the leg. And we're just trying to get a feel for bringing that movement in just through the one side of our body. So left arm and left leg. And just extending out. And again, maybe if we can get 2 seconds, 3 seconds pause. And then slowly return back down. Let's do 2 more. And then we'll do 1 more. And back down. Perfect. I'm going to build up, put 1 final addition in. Again, I want to work those shoulders. So what we're going to do is raise our 2 arms together and extend just the right leg. So how that looks, I want to raise my 2 arms in front, shoulder height, and raise my right leg. Okay, so now my two arms are active, raising in front, and I'm extending my leg at the same time. So we're just very kind of gradually building up and progressing the challenge with some of these movements. Straight arms in front and raising the leg as well. Again, if we can think about maybe 2-3 second pause. My shoulders active and that right leg. And we'll go 2 more. And let's get 1 more. Swap sides. I want to continue again, raising the arms, but now lifting the left leg. So again, how that looks. 2 arms, left leg. And I'll just lightly continue on like that. Can I get a nice 2 second pause here? Lifting the 2 arms, extending the leg out. And I'll just keep that one in. I'm trying not to rush or use any momentum. Just keeping it nice and controlled. 2 arms and left leg. Let's get 3 more. Couple of seconds pause. And 2 more. And then let's get 1 more. And back down. Brilliant. A lot of work in there. A lot of coordination today. A couple of rotational movements. Parts which were slower, broken down, like our shoulder. Parts which were a little bit faster in terms of intensity. So what we want to do next is just cool down. Take a couple of minutes just to relax everything back to a resting state. But really brilliant work. A lot of different things covered in the session there. So great work after all that. Let's start with lower limbs, just in terms of relaxing, stretching everything down. What I'll do is walk my feet forward a little bit. I want to lightly lift those toes up for a couple of seconds. And then back down. Again, lift the toes up, hold for a couple of seconds. Back down. Toes up, hold for a couple of seconds. Back down. I want to do this maybe 5 more times, getting that little lift of the toes and a pause every time. And let's get 3 more, just so we're really going nice and slow, relaxing with the movements at this point. You're not speeding through any of these movements. And then 1 more time, toes up, hold, back down. Brilliant. I want to walk the feet back a little bit now, so I'm on my heels. Let me show you that from the side, just so you can see how I've gone from in front to tucking the feet back a little bit. Now, lift your heels up, hold for a couple of seconds, and then back down. Heels up, hold for a couple of seconds, back down. And let's continue. Give me 5 more of these if that feels okay. Up on the heels, or up on your toes rather, and that heels elevate up off the floor. 3 more. Heels up, back down, and 2 more. Heels up, back down, and once more. Heels up, back down. Perfect. Just going to turn it back in. What I want to do next is just going very light here. Just reset my position. I'm going to step out with my right leg and then just lightly return back in. And I will stay with this leg. Open to the side, back in. Open to the side, back in. I'll try 3 more. Just lightly opening out from the hip, slowing all these movements right back down. I think when we were warming up, we were building up. Now we're relaxing down. Left leg, open to the sides, back in. Again, just lightly open to the sides, back in. I'll just continue on like that. 3 more times, lightly stepping to the sides, back in, and 2 more. And then once more. And back in. Perfect. Again, just reset. I'll reset after every movement if I need. What I want to do next is lightly dig my right heel out and then lightly dig my left heel out. And I'm going to slightly side angle here. I'm not going directly in front. I'm not going directly to my side, but somewhere in between. Slightly diagonal. Lightly tapping my heels out on the floor. Stretching the leg out a little bit here. Lightly tapping heels out onto the floor. And I'm going to do 2 more on each side. And then just once more. Back in, okay? Return in. Final couple of movements and stretches. Nice and slow here. Just bring your right knee up. And then back down. And I want to stick with the right knee. Lift up. Back down. Just lift up. Back down. Don't force it so high that you start to bend. You should still maintain a nice strong position here. Just lightly bringing that knee up as high as comfortable. Just going to do 2 more. And then once more. Back down. Swap sides. So now my left knee, I just reset. Lightly bring up. And back down. Lightly raise up. And back down. And we'll just continue on like that. Getting a nice big lift. 3 more. And 2. And once more. Back down. Perfect. Right leg out. Let's just hold for a couple of seconds here. Nice long hold. Return down. Left leg again. A nice long hold in this position. Okay. Just going to do that twice more. Right leg out. Nice long hold. Just holding the positions. Relaxing everything down. And back to my left. Leg out. Pause. Hold for a couple of seconds. Once more. Back through to my right. Hold for a couple of seconds. And then once more back over to your left. Hold for a couple of seconds. Okay, just finishing off with our upper body. A couple of stretches, a couple of light movements. All again, just continuing that idea of relaxing the body down. Hands together. You can fully kind of interlace or bring the fingers together if you like. And my arms aren't out. They're kind of close to my body, nice and relaxed. I will just rotate over to the right. And then I'll just lightly turn over to the left. Again, I'll avoid rushing between the 2 positions. Just take a second or 2 as you've turned in each direction. Gently over to the right. Gently over to the left. And let's do 3 more in each direction. Over to the right. Over to the left. Let's do 2 more. Nice little light stretch through our back. Nice rotation. And then I'll go once more in each direction. And back in. Perfect. Keeping those hands together, just up to your left shoulder, stretch across. And then go over to that right shoulder, stretch across. Again, just going to do a couple of these in each direction. And a little second or 2 pause each time. Nice, slow movements at this point. Let's just do 2 more in each direction. Over to my left. Over to my right. And once more, over to my left. Over to my right. And down. Perfect. Nice and tall. Hands in front, about chest height. I want to straighten those 2 arms out. If I show you that from the side, how that looks. My arms are out. And my hands are raised up as well. So that's the position I want to hold. Then I want to lightly pull back those hands maybe in towards your shoulders. Elbows back, squeeze, hold for a couple of seconds. Should feel nice squeeze in the shoulder blades. Press and stretch out in front. Let's hold for a couple of seconds. And then again, pull back, hold for a couple of seconds. One last time, press forward and hold. A couple of seconds here. Pull back and hold. A lovely, nice, open position. Back down, okay? Simply just to finish off, I'm going to lightly bring my right shoulder up and then left shoulder. Just break it down one at a time. Thanks very much, Mary, on YouTube there. I can see you're very welcome. And thanks again for the comments. I will check in with them after as well. Thanks very much to everyone for tuning in. Just going to finish off head movement, and then we'll take a couple of deep breaths. Again, when it comes to the head, the neck, I always urge caution, and slow would be key. I never want to, as I turn right and left here, I never want to suddenly twist. So keep this action very slow and controlled. Hands rested on my legs, and I will gently look over to the right, and then I will very lightly look over to the left. So it should take me a couple of seconds to go between the two positions. Equally, as I go back to the right, I'm not trying to go too extreme in either direction. Work in a range that feels comfortable, that doesn't feel tight or stiff. I don't want to push through something that doesn't feel good here. Slowly over to the right and slowly over to the left. And then just return back to the center. Finally, just to make sure we feel fully relaxed, big deep breath through nose, slowly out the mouth. In through nose, slowly out mouth. Just relaxing your body down. 2 more. And 1 last time. Okay, so that concludes our session today. Just really well done to yourselves. A lot covered. We had kind of faster movements. We had coordination. We had to think a bit. We had slower breakdowns, things like our shoulders. So a lot of good work covered there. Have a well-earned rest after that. So thanks very much, everyone on Facebook. Brilliant work. Thanks very much, everyone on YouTube. So brilliant stuff from Marie, Mary, and the craft. Well done, everyone in the craft. Worked very hard. Brilliant stuff. And thanks very much, Facebook. And Michael, great to hear from you. Sylvia, Anya, Mary, brilliant work. Thanks very much.